Welcome back to the Mental Playbook with Christine Dalgety, Season 2. This season, we are expanding the conversation, hearing from mental health experts, professionals from different industries, and people in the sports world about how they take care of their minds, handle challenges, and build the mindset to thrive both on the job and in life. So, grab a coffee, get comfy, tune in, get inspired, and let's dive into some fascinating conversations. Remember, your mind is super powerful, and with the right tools and knowledge, you can master your mental playbook. And while you're doing that, take care of you. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mental Playbook with Christine Dalgety. It's end of April, so even though it's not like the end of April, it's the last Friday in April, so we are doing our Q&A with Lily and me. And the last one, she kept me on my toes even more than the one before that, but I like it. I like to be challenged. So welcome back, and here we go.
All right. So it might feel a little bit different. I know our last part is a bit different. I switched it up to see how you feel.
All right.
But yeah. All right.
You didn't tell me, so I'm going to feel how I feel right in the middle of a podcast.
Yep.
All good.
All right. So we're going to start with the warm-up.
Okay.
Number one question. Okay, so this was thought that we were going to do the podcast yesterday, and yesterday was very, very nice.
Yes. Today's not so much.
No,
but
yeah. What are you most excited about with this warm and sunny weather coming?
Professionally, everybody's mental health improves, and not because it makes my job easier, because we're still very busy all throughout the summer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it does, like, I see a difference in clients. Personally, because my mental health improves. I find that during the winter, even though I'm very busy and I'm very active and everything, during the winter, I just feel like hibernation,
Mm-hmm.
right? And in the summer, I'm doing things more, like I have so many things planned for June and July, and going to a Blue Jays game with my girlfriends at the end of June for 2 games. We're going to go, for 2 games. It's one of my girlfriend's birthdays. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, and going to another weekend away with all the girls. So, in July. So, I'm looking forward to that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting on a patio with my friends, sitting outside on my deck, just even at night, with my fire and a glass of wine or something. I love that, just by myself. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, that makes sense. What's the piece of clothing you wear that automatically lifts your mood or makes you feel more confident? Mm-hmm.
Both of you're all proud, and I'm like, oh. That makes me feel more confident.
Yeah, it just makes you feel like, yeah, I'm good.
I think jeans, like nice jeans, like good fitting jeans, make me feel confident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a hard one. I'm not like a dressy kind of girl. Like, obviously I can dress up and stuff, but I don't wear dresses a lot. A lot of women say, oh, a nice dress makes me feel confident. I guess it would but that's just not really who I am.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds probably really strange. I feel really confident in a hoodie and a pair of jeans, because that's who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more so than if I was wearing a blazer. I feel more confident just, yeah.
Yeah. Your truest self, yeah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You ask me these questions that I never really think about. Obviously, that's why you're doing it. But like, and then you ask me, I'm like, wow, I'm like, not something I've ever thought about.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, that's silly. Yes, I do. Obviously, I know if I feel confident or not. But
yeah, but you don't like think of like which one's the one that makes you just on a day to day. It's like, I'm gonna wear this because that feels like
yeah.
feel good.
But as I'm thinking about it, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if I put on a hoodie and a pair of jeans and the jeans fit well, they're not like digging in or anything.
Yeah.
And Converse or something, I probably feel more confident because I am more myself. All right. There you go.
All right. So, like, why sports? What's so special about them for you?
I think why sports first is because that's how I grew up. My parents both played a ton of sports. They were both big into sports. My dad was on the committee to bring like the Almont Arena and the curling club, the recreation committee to Almont. Like he's one of the people that brought so much of it to Almont. So I think that's like it was really instilled in us. We always watched Hockey Night in Canada together. Back then, we all cheered for the Habs. My grandson would be Grandma because he bugs my brother. My brother still cheers for them, and my cousin still cheers for them. And yeah, so I think that is why, first of all. And then, I don't know, I just love them. Like, I get so into it. I love the excitement of it. I love the skill to it. I love, like yesterday, the Sens had their first playoff game, and I looked at my best friend, Sue, one of my best friends, and she's sitting across from me. I'm like, why am I so nervous? Like, I don't have a stake in this. It's not my kid or my partner or anything playing, right? But I was like, and at one point I jumped right out and hurt my shoulder, and right out of my chair. It just brings me a lot of joy. Like I can, people say, oh, I couldn't sit there and watch a whole baseball game. I love every single second of it. And even, I mean, golf isn't all that exciting always watching it, but I still, like if my brother comes over and stuff and I'm watching it, like I get into it too. I'm just not an avid. I think it just, yeah, I mean, I used to play it. I play a lot of sports too. I don't anymore, but it just brings me a lot of joy, and I just love every aspect of it. I also like I love during playoffs when a whole bunch of people get together, or Super Bowl and stuff like that, and everyone's cheering, and I don't know. I just love all of it. Yeah. And it was instilled in me, like, I think I've said before, if you were a Dalgety and didn't like sports, it was like a blasphemy until Danica came along. Yeah. But even she, her boyfriend is a Leafs fan. So she even, like, she'll call me and say, oh, Sens lost last night or Leafs lost or whatever. And I'm like, look at you go. And my grandson is so into hockey and stuff now. And it's like, he walked in here last Saturday because he was going to watch the game with me with a Blue Jays ball cap on and a Sens jersey. And I was like, you are my little spirit animal. And he gets excited about it, and he loves Allmark now, and he's, I think it's, I just look at it and I'm like, there's the next generation, and he's loving it. And he actually, here's a funny story. His dad, Easter Saturday, the Saturday of Easter weekend, him and his dad went to a game, the Sens game, and my son. And after the second period, they were all coming. I had everyone that night for Easter dinner, and my grandson knew they were coming here. And he said, Daddy, I want to go to Grandma's now. And Ryan's like, but dude, we're at the game. And he said, yeah, but I want to go cheer with Grandma. And he goes, but you're here cheering with me. He goes, yeah, but Grandma's a bigger fan than you. And I was like, oh yeah, you go, little man, you go. Yeah.
The vibes matter, okay?
Yes. And he came in and he was cheering and stuff with me, and they were here for most of the third period.
Oh my God, okay, he actually left.
Yeah, he left.
Oh my God.
I brought him on New Year's Day and to the game. It was a 1:00 game, and I brought him, and he was so excited and everything, and he had popcorn. And then like halfway through the first period, can I get a hamburger? I'm like, dude, you're eating a whole thing of like really expensive popcorn. Not that money's anyway, I said at the end of the first period you can get a hamburger. So then he got a hamburger, and it was like this game where it was like we were playing Washington, and they were up. And then he had to go to the bathroom at the end of the first period. And so I take him to the bathroom, and I can hear everyone cheering, and Sen scored while he was in the bathroom. I'm like, okay, cool. Second period, he's like, Grandma, can we go? I want to go, after he ate his hamburger. No, he had a hot dog instead. Anyway, So can we go? And I'm like, okay, bud, but just have to wait. We just have to wait. And then we leave with 2 minutes left in the second period because he just wanted to go and hang out here. So he's in the bathroom again before we leave, and Sen's tied it up. And then we're in the car, and Sen's go ahead. And no, Washington scored. And then the Sens scored while we're in the car. And then the third period, Sens won it. I was sitting here watching it, and Sens won. And I texted my son, and I go, that would have been a really amazing game to be at. And he goes, what, you guys didn't go? I said, oh, no, we were there. Not for any of the good parts, but we were
That's hilarious.
attention span. He gets that from his grandma too. But anyway, yeah.
It's funny.
But he's only 5, so he's getting into it, and he watches Ryan cheers for West Ham United soccer.
Okay.
And so he watches it with him and stuff too. So that's kind of cool.
But if he was here, would he watch the whole game on?
Kind of back and like he'll watch the first 2 periods.
Yeah.
And then he gets. So I think that's his attention span is the first 2 periods right now.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, but he'll go and play and everything, and then he'll come back. What's the score? Or he'll hear me cheering, or if we're all here, hear us cheering, and then he comes up, and then he'll even if they're not playing Montreal, he'll look at my brother and go ha ha. Yeah, he always goes Montreal boo like that, and then my granddaughter now. She kind of gets on the bandwagon with it, and she doesn't understand like boo, right?
Okay.
And so she says, last Saturday she's like, "Mommy, I'm gonna go to Grandma's, and I'm gonna say to Uncle Steve, Montreal boo hoo," which is still good. Yeah. I think it's awesome.
It's so cute.
Yeah, they're so into it. Love it.
Do you have a do what I say, not what I do?
Oh, yes.
All right, let's hear them.
There's so many. I think as a psychotherapist, we're trained to help people with their mental health, right? And we're trained like self-care and all of that. And there are times where I'm like, I just told my client to do the opposite of what I'm doing right now. So some things like sometimes boundaries. Sometimes I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I know that I do. Yeah, boundaries for sure. I mean, I'm much better at boundaries than I used to be. But I'll say to I know one. Like I might say to a client, "You're not responsible for how that person feels. You're not responsible for that person's behavior or their perception." But then with certain people in my life, I take that on, right? And I know that is a big one now that I think about it, because as I'm doing it, I'm like, I just told the client yesterday that they're not responsible, and yet I'm doing the same thing. So that is a do as I say, not as I do. It's also a work in progress, and I have come a long way since. I mean, there's some people in your life that have been in your life your whole life, and those patterns have been established, right? So that kind of stuff I think is and I think, I try to build people's self-esteem and self-confidence and everything all day, every day. And there's times that the thoughts that I'm saying to them, like, but do you have any facts that prove that that's an accurate perception of yourself? That people actually think that? Do you have any facts that prove that? And then, I mean, I struggle with confidence sometimes too, and self-esteem and stuff. So I may do, like, I'll have those same thoughts. And sometimes I'll say, okay, Christine, what 2 facts prove that that's... And I think last year I was in a situation where another person made my nervous system, like, it was activated all the time with like breadcrumbing and stuff like that. And it made me someone I wasn't, like insecure, and stepping back, I could really look at that. But as I was trying to reflect on all of that, I was thinking, this is literally what I work with clients
Mm-hmm.
on.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like, is that someone you want in your life? Is that, and I had, like, that was all that person's insecurities and bad relationships and all of that. But my nervous system, like, some of the things I was like, that's not me at all. Not me.
Yeah.
That's so insecure and so, like, second guessing and trying to make sure I don't say the wrong thing because I didn't want to trigger anything. Not like
Yeah.
it wasn't abusive or anything
No,
like
yeah.
that. Nothing like that at all. It was just this person I think was pretty avoidant, and yeah.
Makes
And I got caught in that thing that I tell clients not to get caught in all the time.
Mm-hmm. What would you say to somebody that's like, will be, I don't know if I want to say negative thought process, but maybe be like, well, they're a therapist. They should have it. Whatever they say, they should have it together. You know, like that typical, like.
Yeah, that's we think that and feel that and hear that all the time. But it's like what I said in my podcast last week about Allmark, right? He's a professional, but he's also human. I'm a professional, but I'm also human. And when it's mental health stuff, yeah, I think that we are going to do all of those things, the same things. I think that what's important is that we utilize the stuff that we tell our clients to do. Like, we may still do the same thing we tell them not to do, but we certainly have the tools. And sometimes you might get stuck for a while. Like last year, it took me a while to like, whoa, you know, and however, what that situation triggered in me was past abusive, like I said, this person was not abusive any way, shape, or form, but that insecurity and stuff that it brought out was from an abusive relationship and a lot of infidelity and stuff, and this wasn't a committed relationship or anything, so it's not, I just don't want to get, in case anyone's listening, I don't want to get that out, but it was that insecurity came up from years ago, in just the way I was treated and like options, second best, all of that kind of stuff, infidelity and stuff, it just triggered that. So I think the important part of that was, yeah, I behaved that way, and yeah, it made me, my nervous system, but then I reflected, and I've done a lot of work since then, and not going to happen again. Right? I mean, doesn't mean that I'm not going to be treated that way, but my reaction's not going to be that. I'm going to be my true self. I'm not insecure in those ways. And so I think that, I think people do think that and say that, but also, okay.
But it makes you guys like empathetic also. You can, if somebody brings something, you're not, if a therapist is perfect, then it's just like, they'll be like, why do you feel that way?
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
weird.
And that's why I self-disclose some things, right? It used to be back in the day that psychologists, psychotherapists, you weren't even to have a picture of anyone up on your desk. You were, it was like, you were just this, and some therapists and stuff are still like that. I'm not. And for those very reasons, right? Like, when I do get people that are struggling with things, I'm like, I get it. I felt the exact same way. And this is what is going on, right? Or this is what I'm doing now, kind of thing. So I think we have to get out of our own way sometime too. Like, I think that, you know, I've had these, I don't think I know, I've had, and I still do it all the time, but this like, no, I'm a psychotherapist, I'm an expert in mental health, I need to, and then I'm like, I also have a decade's worth of trauma and baggage, right? That's going to trigger some of these things. So, but I think, and I know the other girls too, like they'll talk to me and it's like, you got to get out of your own way. You're human. So, wow.
Thanks for sharing.
That went deep again.
All right. The first half.
That was just a warm up. Damn. All right. Woo.
Okay, so we kind of you kind of mentioned it last time for the sport and mental health podcast, but maybe we can dive deeper into it. But What do you say to somebody that their job becomes their identity?
Yeah. So I get that all the time. You know, when clients are retiring or if they can't be at work anymore for mental health reasons, they'll say, yeah, but I'm losing my identity. And so we work through that, and it's not just as simple as, okay, but that's not who you are. But that is part of it. I'll say to them, okay, so what else? Like, what else makes up your identity? And usually I get, I'm a mom or a dad, I'm a sister or a brother, I'm a daughter or a son, I'm a friend, and I'm like, no, all of those are what you do. Your job is what you do. It's not who you are, right? And that's really hard to, because I am a psychotherapist. Actually, I practice psychotherapy, right? But psychotherapy and mental health stuff is so ingrained in my life. And I mean, I can't do anything without last sportscast, I analyzed Allmark and knew that there was something going on with him while he was playing, right? It's such a big part of who I am, the mental health, but psychotherapist is what I do.
Yeah.
So we really have to separate, but no, like, what makes up your identity? Yeah, all of those roles make up part of your identity, but who you are and your interests and what brings you joy and who you are, meaning, you know, like personality traits and what you like to do and all of that is probably makes up more of your identity. And I think we have to take the roles out of our identity, because then who are we? We're something for all this external, but then we lose ourselves. And I think that that's like, if we do that, if we look at all our roles as who we are and our identity, then when we retire, we lose our identity. When kids grow up and move out, that empty nest syndrome that happens, we feel like we lose our identity. As the mother of someone who's almost 34 years old, I'm still his mom. He just doesn't live here, right? But that's my role. Does that make sense? Like, it's if we identify with all these roles, then when those roles change, which they will, because that's life, then we lose parents. So now am I not a daughter because my parents aren't here? We lose people in our lives. So and we evolve and change and move, and so I think that when I have clients that present like that, I really pull out like their whole identity, not just their roles. And every single time, I just already said it, but every single time I say, no, that is your role. Who are you? I get mom, all of those things. Nope, those are roles too. And it's like, oh, yeah, no.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not. And I'm not saying that those roles aren't part of your identity. Like, I've already established that, but they're very important parts of our identity, and they help develop who we are. If I was never a mom, I would probably be a different person right now. If I didn't have my son when I was like 21, I would be a totally different person right now, perhaps, right? So I think that, if I never became a psychotherapist, I would be a different person if I was in a different profession. But it's roles.
But what question can you ask yourself to figure out what who you are without being?
I think that I would ask a few questions. What do I enjoy? Like, what brings me joy? What character traits or personality traits do I have? What really piques my interest? What really motivates me? What sparks that passion in you? Because those are all part of your identity too.
Yeah. So if I asked you the question, what's your identity?
My identity?
Yeah.
The roles part, mom, daughter, sister, psychotherapist, grandmother, mother-in-law, friend, cousin, aunt. Roles part, personality part, intellectual, kind, giving, stubborn, independent. I mean, I could go on with those. Passion, what really ignites is trying to understand things, analyze, come to conclusions of things, make connections, obviously sports, seeing joy in others, bringing joy, acts of service.
So it's funny because people will usually try and do one word.
Yeah, no.
And then you're like, no, it's a whole lot of things.
That's right.
So.
And that's why, because, I mean, obviously I was naming like intellect and stuff like that. I have other parts of my identity too. Like I can be insecure. I can be self-conscious. Those are parts of my identity, and all the stuff that I've gone through, battled, survived successfully, that all made up, all those words that I use for my personality. But all of that stuff is who I am, not just what I do.
Good. That was question 1. How do you know when to be hard with a client versus soft? So direct or
Yep.
whatever words you want to use.
Yeah. So I think it's more direct, and I'm never hard. Well, no. I mean, they may think I'm hard on them when I do it, but I think that you have to get to know your client. You wouldn't push and be direct and hard right out of the gate, because that could really, you have to get to know your client first. A few sessions in, you can, like, even second session, I might push them by saying, okay, so you're responsible for how they feel, right? So I may do that, say that. And then they're like, well, no, that's pushing them. But then as I get to know them and that kind of thing, I'll say something like, wow, that's a lot of control you have if you're responsible for. So I might, and they're like, well, no, it's not, or wow, that's a lot of power if you can make somebody do something. Well, I can't. Exactly. Right. So I think that you have to know the person, you have to know what they can take. Some clients are like, no, I need you to be honest with me, call me out of my BS. And so those clients I might do that with. And then there's some clients that I know, if I, like the level of social anxiety, if I challenge them too much, then they're going to think that I think that they're stupid, that they're, so it's really important to know your client before you do any of that stuff. And it takes a little while to do that. But I've been doing this long enough that, like, some of the girls that are younger, only doing it new or for a couple of years, they're like, how do you challenge them like that? Like, because I've been doing this for a long time, so your confidence increases in doing that. You kind of take away that I don't want to hurt their feelings to, okay, but what are we trying to get at? And if I don't push, it's always going to be, because it's uncomfortable, right? So once I get to know them, I will push them.
Yeah.
I never shove. I always push.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. Does that answer? Okay. Yeah, because it's not just like you do it this way or you do it this way. It's so individual for the client. I have some clients that I've seen for a long time, and I can say, stuff like, wow, that was harsh. If they say, I told them that, right? I'm like, whoa, that was harsh. Or I'll say something, I have had some clients that really pushed back with everything. Not many. I've only had a few that like would say something. I'm trying to make sure that I'm careful here, but I don't feel like I feel like I'm paying for a service I'm not getting or something like that, and I'll say, okay, fair. It's your choice to come, right? If you don't want to come, that's fine. And just to recap, you had two goals. And so the first goal, I suggested this, and we were working on, the homework, and you said, yeah, you didn't feel like doing it. And the second goal, we had a treatment plan, and you said, I don't know if that's going to work for me. I don't know if I want to do it. So I'm not sure what you want from me if, because this client too was just talking about the goals and saying we didn't do any of the goals. And so it was like, okay, fair enough. And that's your perception. However,
Yeah.
and often if a client feels like they're not going where, I always say therapy works, but you have to work the therapy, right? And I say to my therapists all the time, we cannot work harder at our clients' mental health than they do. And so the minute, and I say this to clients if they're like, sometimes they'll say, but I'm not seeing any change. And then that's when the other girls will be like, okay. And then they come to me and they're like, oh, like, what do I say in that? And so what I always say is, and I just helped a therapist through this, I always say, okay, what are you doing when you walk out those doors? Because once you walk out those doors, I no longer have any control over whether you follow through. I know what we're doing in session, and I know what we talk about, and I know the strategies that I've given you and the homework that I've given you to do. Are you doing them? And 9 times out of 10, when there's no change, the answer is no. So then I'll say, okay, so where's your role in this?
Yeah.
So I will push them like that because that's the only way you're going to see change is if you point out the discrepancies that, or hold them accountable for their mental health.
Yep.
Yeah. But obviously I'd always do it in a professional and kind way, a supportive way. And I'll often say, I understand it's hard. I get that. And change is really hard. And then I'll say, but what are you doing? And what are you doing?
Do you think ChatGPT or any chat like AI thing has a mental impact on people?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I think that a lot of people have fear with it, that it's going to take over jobs. And I know that people are using it for therapy. And for me, it's not about it taking my job. It's about what it's doing to people's mental health. Because there was a teen who he unalived himself because ChatGPT, I don't know if it was ChatGPT, an AI program. He was using it for therapy and it told him to.
Damn.
So, there's a guy that I follow on TikTok for comedy more than anything. I've talked about him before in here. He's like very crass and stuff. And sometimes it's like so out there that I'm like, whoa, and then I giggle, right? But I laugh. I think it's funny. But he came on one time and I think I've told you about it, but he came on and he said, I wanted to see what ChatGPT or AI is like for therapy. So I tried it out and I'm like, oh no, dude, I liked you, right? Because I'm thinking he's going to say, this is like the bomb, right? And then he said that he made up a story that he was lying beside his wife right now, but he had cheated on her out with his friends that night. He cheated on her and he thinks he should tell her, but he's not quite sure. And this guy isn't even married or anything, but so he just made this up. And I'm feeling so bad. He was going on like that. The answer that it gave back was, don't worry, I've got your back. There's no reason why she needs to know about it. It's going to ruin your marriage. Like, it was all this stuff. And so this guy was like, what the? That's the worst advice to give. And he was going on like, oh, okay. And he's like, he's very sarcastic and stuff. So he's like, okay, dude, it's all right. I got your back. Cheat on your wife. No worries. Don't feel bad about it. We're men. That's what we do. And it was just like he was going on like that. And so I was like, thank you. So I think that, I think it's dumbing us down. Mm-hmm. I really do. And I use it for some things. Like if I want to create an email and I don't want to have to go into the CRPO or college to find all the standards of practice when I'm replying to somebody, and stuff, I'll just use it and say, create an email with these factors from the CRPO, and it creates it. I'm not having to think.
Yeah.
For a lot of stuff for social media, I'll use it and then create it myself, but it gives me a baseline that I don't have to create from scratch. But it's dumbing us down because of that. We don't have to think, right? I think that it's helpful in some ways, but I have a lot of people who are afraid. I have a lot of people who are afraid that it's taking over everything. It scares me. Because people can take your picture and make you do things that you're not doing. And they can take pictures of children and make them older. Like that kind of stuff is scary. And just even, it's getting so good that sometimes I'm watching, like, you don't know what's real and what's not anymore. And that's impacting people's mental health big time. You don't know. Sometimes it's so ridiculous that it's like, that is not.
Yeah.
Like there was some videos with the Four Nations. I remember there was a video of Connor McDavid talking about, I don't care what Trump thinks and we're going to do this to the States. Connor McDavid would never, like the way it was. But it used to be that you could tell the mouth was different when it was talking. Now you can't. Right? So, and then the same, there's Austin. I was talking to Trump and he told me get Canada. And Austin Matthews is not going to say that in a video with the media. That you can tell it's ridiculous. And there's some other things you're like, no. But it's really impacting people's mental health. And there are some good things, like I said. But even those good things, like, it makes life easier in some ways, but then it's dumbing us down.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
dumbing society down.
Yes.
And that scares me, especially for kids. My brain's already fully developed.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Kids' brains aren't, and they don't have to come up with these concepts, and they don't know. I saw this video. It's like a podcast kind of thing. And it's probably not great. I don't follow it or anything. It just keeps popping up, and it's this guy, and he asks young women questions. Basically, it's making fun of how unintelligent they are.
Yeah, I know
Have you seen that?
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And but it's scary if it's real. Because like it's things like what country is directly below or above the United States, and they're like, I don't know. You know, there's things like, it's things, very common sense things, very.
Well, people aren't in check with reality anymore.
No, they're not. It's like, I can't remember the one that I just saw, and I thought, this can't be real. This cannot be real.
Yes.
Even like, they're American, and it was like, how many states do we have? 4?
Yeah, it's like.
And I'm like, okay, this has to be fake, right? How many stars are on the flag?
Or it's just people that want.
Yeah. Yeah. But some of them like are really like, they actually get mad at them for asking the question, because I'm like, why am I watching this? I'm dumbing myself down. or I'm feeling really, really intelligent. Yeah.
All right. So let's take a little halftime break.
Okay.
Okay. What's something at work that you are proud of right now, either from the girls or yourself?
I think my whole staff, I'm proud of them. They are such a team, and they help each other out. Like, when we have a student, the student will come to me and say, oh yeah, Erin told me this and this, or Jade, or even Rachel. Rachel and Colleen were both students for Rachel's second semester with us. And Colleen would say, Rachel was so helpful. She'd come in and say, try this and this. This is what I learned through the practicum. And I think I'm really proud of that. And I'm really proud of the growth that I see, because they're all young, right? I'm like the old lady on staff. But they're all young, and just seeing how hard they work at it and to improve things, and really like how they treat their clients and everything. I think that's what I'm most proud of, because I hear it out in the community too. And or if I have a parent and they have the kids, and I hear like, oh, like Erin was fabulous. Jade, I see Jade, not now, she's on mat leave, but I used to tease her. I'm like, you're like a celebrity in mom groups, because they'd say, no, you have to see Jade Ferguson, because, and Kyla, she just runs the place. You come up with all these great ideas. Like all of my staff, I think, they really, I'm proud of that. Because it's my name on there, but they're making my name good. Right? And that, I'm not trying to be like, oh, they're making I'm just saying, it's my reputation, but they're all just, they're really amazing and fun.
Yes, I do agree with that.
They did a bucket list. Did I tell you that?
Oh yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah, when I was on vacation, and I was teasing them, because I'm like, I might have said it in one of the other podcasts, but I was teasing them because I'm like, is this what I pay you for? And they had this long bucket list and all this stuff that we should all do together. Yeah. And there was a couple of them on there, and I was like, no. Like, get tattoos together? Yes, I like tattoos, but I said, I'm not getting a tattoo with you guys. Like, my tattoos like mean,
Yeah.
my kid and my grandkids, my parents, my business, my siblings. Like, that's yeah, but it was fun. It was like, I thought I was joking. Well, no, I'm not getting a tattoo with them, but I was joking about that stuff. But then I was proud, right? Because I was like, I wasn't even there. Yeah, I was away for a week, and they sat in the waiting room on their lunch, one of their lunches, or in the kitchen, and talked about all the things in the next year they wanted to do together. Yeah, which huge. I think is awesome.
It's very important. Speaking of reality, why do you think people like reality TV so much?
Oh, I question that every single day.
All right.
I can honestly say the only reality TV I've ever watched was like Survivor when it first came out. Yeah. I think I watched the first season of The Bachelorette when Trisha picked Ryan, and they're still married, and they've been married for 20 some years. Like, oh, wow. The Voice and stuff I might watch, but I don't know why people like it. I think, no, that's just being my judgy self. Yeah. That's being my judgy self, because I can't stand it. I cannot watch it. I get mad. I can't watch it. Yes. My favorite is like The Bachelorette. Not my favorite. My favorite, like, oh my goodness. Because they're crying because he's out on a date with someone else. And I'm like, girl, you joined a reality TV show where you and 24 other women are dating him to marry him, and you're crying because he's out on a date. I can't with that stuff. Psychotherapist goes right out the window, because I am like, this cannot be real. Like, this is no. So personally, I cannot stand it. I do not watch reality TV. Most of my family does, and some of my friends do, but I think why people watch it, is like curiosity, what goes on in other people's lives. B is the drama of it. Like, you watch the Kardashians, that. I can't even with them. But you watch, like, I think all the drama that goes on with that, and the nosiness that society has, like to see what goes on in other people's lives. I think it's mostly the drama and stuff, right? Like, because that's what I hear all the time. Like I said, I don't watch it, but a couple of my nieces and my sister and stuff might be talking about it, and they're like, oh yeah, did you see when this happened and this, and then they did this, and then they did this, and I'm like, that's just like too much drama for my brain to handle.
Why do people like drama? Like, what? Like,
I think that people like drama because it's kind of like a dopamine thing, because it's like,
okay,
it's conflict and it's all this, like, but it's not them, and it's kind of like an, oh my god, what are they doing kind of thing.
yeah.
I think big part because it's not them, but that's not true totally, because I know many people who create drama
Yeah.
and say, I hate drama, and I'm like, dude, like, you make it, you create it. I don't know. I think it's just like a human nature thing I personally, maybe it's because of what I do. And I see drama every day, all day long. I do not want drama in my life. I do not like it. And that's probably why I don't watch reality TV too.
Yeah.
It's probably why like, I'll vent about things. I'll be like, oh my, but the whole drama stuff, I retreat from it.
It must have to do with like feeling like part of something. If you're talking about the same thing, like,
yeah, I think for some of the reality TV too, it's almost like fantasy stuff for people.
okay,
like,
yeah.
it's kind of like, that's never going to be my life, and so I'm seeing other people live that life. But yeah, I question that all the time, actually, and I just, like, I do, honestly, because I see people, I'll be sitting there, I have no idea what they're talking about most of the time. I know the shows, I know because it's like everywhere, like Love Island and stuff. Holy cow. My niece got my sister onto it, and then she couldn't stop watching it. I'm like, they would come up, I think because they were talking about it, and then some videos from it would come up on my TikTok and stuff, and I'm like, oh, like, how do you watch that? I'd watch a 30-second clip, and I'm like, I think it's just the drama, and it's a fantasy kind of life, and it's, the romance and who's going with who and who. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I will never be one of those people, though. I can guarantee you 150%.
Okay. What about if it's a reality TV show about therapists?
Oh.
Like, not about their clients, just about like the life of therapists in a. Would you watch reality?
Probably
but
not.
It's based on drama.
Yeah, probably not.
No.
If it was a documentary on therapist life, and I would love to participate in that, right? Like a documentary of what a therapist goes through, how they live their personal life, and how they separate, and all of that kind of, like, talking to therapists and being in this position. But if it's a reality thing with drama and no. Honestly,
Christina is not for the drama.
I do not do drama. And when drama comes in my life, like, I feel it physically.
Oh yeah. That's fair.
I'm like, I don't do drama. I don't want any part of it.
Leave me out of it. Fair.
Not in my personal life.
Yeah, it makes sense.
In my professional life, that's what I do. But
Last question for the break. Are the Sens going to win the Stanley Cup? Or going to the Stanley Cup finals? That's what I mean. And are they going to win? Or who are they playing against?
okay.
We're getting Christine into her fantasy leagues now.
Yes. Yes. Do I think they're going to the Stanley Cup final? No. Do I want them to go to the Stanley Cup final? Absolutely, but I have to be realistic in this too. But if they did, I would love to see a Ottawa Edmonton matchup. Canada, go Canada. If they did, I think it would be Colorado.
Like Sens v
Versus Colorado in the final.
Yeah. Yeah, Colorado.
Colorado's pretty strong. Well, they were first in the whole league.
Yeah.
It would be neat to, although like yesterday's game with Dallas and Minnesota beat them 6-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Colorado versus for the finals.
Oh. I thought you meant if they did, who I thought they would play. So who do I think will be
that was the original question?
Okay. So, who do I think will be?
Welcome to fantasy leagues.
Yeah. Realistically, I think Colorado. I don't even know of Colorado. Often we have like the teams that get the most points in the regular season, and then they struggle in the playoffs.
Are
It's a whole other season.
Yeah.
They struggle in the playoffs. I just have this like gut feeling Vegas is going to go to the final. Yeah. I've had this gut feeling maybe Mitch Marner is going to get his Stanley Cup final playoff.
Yeah.
And I've had that for a little while now. So let's just say Vegas, and as much as I would love for it to be a Canadian team, I'm going to say Vegas and Tampa.
Okay.
I don't know. That's hard.
It is hard.
Because we've only, not even had game one for a lot of them, right?
That's true, yeah.
So ask me that.
But that's the whole thing. You're not.
I know you're not supposed to know.
Yeah.
I know, but ask me in another week or so, and then I'll have a better idea.
I'll ask you when is the second round.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I just think. I don't know. I keep going back and forth between Tampa and Buffalo. And not because they were up high. I just Buffalo. They were down, and then they just keep winning, right?
Oh yeah. That one I didn't know.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, this is the big case study. So this is second half. This one's a long one.
Okay. I'll try to keep my ADHD in check so I can retain the information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I've been struggling with this situation for a while, and I can't tell if I'm overreacting or if it's something actually isn't right. I've been working closely with a coach for the past year. At the beginning, it felt like everything I needed. They believed in me and pushed me and gave me opportunities I don't think I would have had on my own. I trusted them a lot, but over time things started to feel different. It's like their opinion slowly became the main opinion in my life. I started running almost everything by them, decisions, ideas, even things outside of what we were working on. And when I didn't, I'd feel anxious, like I made the wrong choice without even knowing why. There have been moments where I disagreed with them, but instead of saying it, I just didn't. Because when I have pushed back in the past, it turned into a long conversation where I somehow ended up feeling like I was wrong or not seeing things clearly. So now it just feels easier to go along with things, and I don't like that about myself. What's been bothering me the most is that I don't feel like I trust my own judgment anymore. Even small decisions feel harder. And if they don't approve of something, it sticks with me way more than I want it to. The confusing part, they've helped me grow a lot. So part of me feels ungrateful, even questioning this. But another part of me feels like I've become too dependent on them, and I don't know how to pull back without ruining the relationship or losing opportunities. I don't know if this is just what it's like to be coached at a high level, or if I've slowly lost my voice in the process.
Okay. Are we talking like life coach kind of thing, or okay, that's a codependent relationship. And if it's a professional relationship, it doesn't matter what their opinion is, and they shouldn't disapprove. And I'm not saying the coach is, that might be how the person's perceiving it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that coaching is not psychotherapy. It can have some counseling aspect to it. And there's merit in coaching for a certain distance. And then it sounds like this person needs a psychotherapist now to work on the underlying, because that's a social anxiety, codependent relationship is what it's become, meaning that person's like decisions and moods and everything are based on the coach's perceptions and perceived mood and stuff too, because they're afraid that they will disappoint or upset the coach. So I think that I think it's about changing the mindset to the coach got you this far, and now you need some help understanding the dynamic. And I think that the coach, here's the thing. One of the main difference between coaches and psychotherapists is, well, education for one. Like we have about 7 years of psychology education, and we are regulated by a college, a regulatory body, that we will lose our license if we don't maintain professionalism, confidentiality. I'm not saying the coach is not being confidential, but if we do not maintain that client professional relationship, coaches don't have that. And so it sounds like this might become more, may have, and maybe it's just the client's perception of it, but more of a friendship. Right? Because some of the stuff you said there, as you were saying it, I'm thinking, is this a friendship or is it a professional relationship? Yeah. Because if a client reaches out to me all the time or comes to me for every single, like asking me what I think, I will say to them, I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
A coach will tell them what to do. So then that takes that autonomy kind of thing, especially this person, the mental health issues that this person's experiencing, the boundaries and the lines are blurred. So as a psychotherapist, I would be very, those boundaries would be very, what am I thinking, like concrete boundaries. And always, because I have clients that say to me all the time, well, what should I do in this situation? What should I do? And almost every time I will say, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I will help you figure it out, but I'm not telling you what to do. And so that's different in coaching, because coaching literally says you need to do this, 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 and this. And if somebody is very codependent or looks at that person as the authority, the expert, then they're not going to have any of their own independent thinking. Right? Yeah. So for this person, I would say, I may have lost the question in there, but I would say take the growth that you've had and now look at other professionals to figure out this dynamic. Because I can guarantee you, if he or she goes to a psychotherapist and with that dynamic, the psychotherapist is going to work on, depending on the type, I would work on perception, autonomy, the codependency piece of it, the social anxiety piece of it, childhood stuff. Like, did you have parents that told you what to do all the time and you didn't think for yourself? Because that would create that dynamic 100%. Or did you have parents put you down all the time? Or teachers that put you down and this person's boosting you up? Yeah. And you're seeing growth with it? There's a, yeah. So I would do like psychotherapeutic techniques to, not to sever the relationship, but to make the relationship more clear. Professional client, not friendship.
Okay.
You look like you're thinking.
Yeah, it's because I'm thinking of a question, but I can't think of it. Like I can't process it.
Did that answer the question though? Like that?
Yeah, like, but I'm trying to see, because I wanted to say, because like, what if they really like this coach and they don't want to leave, but they're trying to separate because they know that how they're thinking, it's like maybe it's a themself issue.
Yeah.
So it's like how to separate from
So
that.
it's not about leaving the coach. It's about bringing another professional in that has expertise to make it a healthier relationship. That's not a healthy relationship, right? Coach, or if clients get like that with us too, right? And that's not a healthy relationship. If I have clients reaching out to me all the time, and I have had some, I'm very clear with my boundaries saying, I am not answering all these, right? This is not, I have to be very careful in how I say it. And because also if a client reaches out, suicidal ideations and stuff, obviously I'm going to answer it. But it's not a crisis line. We have it in our email. This is not a crisis line. These are the things. So, it's not about, we have to create that healthy boundary. There's no healthy boundary there. And I'm not saying the coach isn't creating it.
Yeah.
But the client's not.
No, yeah.
And so it's not about you like the coach and separate. It's about identifying what that relationship is and how to make it a healthier relationship.
Yeah.
Chances are either maybe the coach does treat their clients like friends and stuff, but the chances are too that the coach may be experiencing like, whoa, this is getting, I don't know.
Yeah. Good. Right. Overtime questions. Case. Yeah. So have you ever heard the I don't want to call it a game, but something that's called like finish my sentence?
Yes.
So that's kind
You're
of
not going to do this or that because I'm okay. Okay.
I think this one could be fun.
You what, sorry?
I think this one could be fun.
Yes.
But we'll see. We'll see if it works out or not.
Okay.
All right. So first one is, so finish my sentence. Taking care of yourself can be as simple as like
setting limits and boundaries.
Okay, I think we're gonna like this one. A mindset I keep coming back to is
a mindset I keep coming back to. Be true to myself. That's something I sometimes struggle with. Yeah. That's a mindset I keep coming back to. Nope. Take the step back. Be true to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way. A good enough day looks like
A good enough day.
like good enough day. Yeah.
Yeah. A good enough day looks like having 30 minutes in the morning to myself and an hour at night without anything.
So if your whole day was awful and you had those two, you'd be like, it was a good enough day.
Yeah. Because I need to clear my mind in the morning and I need to clear my mind at night. I've had this week, this past week, I had 4 really heavy trauma, like really heavy trauma clients in one day. And I was exhausted. And that night and then I had to go somewhere right after work for my brother. And I didn't get home till 9 o'clock at night because I worked till 7. And I was like, I didn't go, this was a problem, but I didn't go to bed till later because I needed that hour of just like, sat here, music in, did not look at anything, I just needed to process. So if I have that, even I need my morning, but if I have that hour at night to just, whether it's watching sports or just sit here, then it's a good enough day for me.
It's so interesting for the whole, because my boyfriend's a little bit like that in a way of like, sometimes if it's a longer day, he needs time at night to do his own thing, like super simple, like just clear his head. Yeah. And I've never like, I'm like, that's so, to me, I'm just like, just go to bed. Like,
I can't just go to bed. If I go to bed, I won't sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
because I'll be lying in bed thinking about all of this stuff, right?
Yeah,
so fair. I need to just sit. Sorry, my brother's dog just walked by. And I'm watching the dog this weekend. So my brother's home.
Like,
I thought I saw it out of the corner of my eye. And yesterday I was sitting here and it was really windy and I have all my outdoor furniture still covered and it was blowing and I had let the dog back in the house And sometimes that back door, I locked it, but if you don't, it blows open. And all of a sudden I saw something and I thought, holy cow, the dog's out. So I just did that and the dog was out. So my brother's home. All right. I didn't lose his dog. Yeah, I need to decompress. Let's be honest. Every day I have during the week is a heavy day. But Tuesday was a really, really heavy day. But so I need to just sit by myself, not talk to anyone, not while I live alone. But like if I get text messages and stuff in that hour, I don't answer them. If somebody calls me, I don't answer it. I just need to like shut down.
You're allowed to change your mind about
anything you want. As long as it doesn't, hurt somebody else. You want something more specific?
Well, even on that point, hurt somebody else, like to what? Like I know, like there's hurt, but there's also like if somebody's feelings are hurt because you change your mind about hanging out.
That's their perspective, though. That's not an intent to harm them. If you change your mind the day before you're supposed to get married, that might that might hurt them. But if you change your mind about hanging out and that other person gets upset about that, that's an issue. They, not an issue, right? Ish them, not an issue.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there can be a lot of factors around it, right? But we're allowed to change our minds. I think that we often don't change our minds because of how it impacts other people, but that's their issue. It's based on their insecurities or their rejection sensitivity or whatever, right? If you are somebody who backs out on somebody all the time, then that's a whole other issue. Then it's an issue. But if it's you're supposed to do something and then you're not feeling it, or you're allowed to change your mind.
And then last one, you're allowed to take your time with everything.
Everything. You're allowed to take your time with processing events, and I say that because, you're allowed to take your time with processing your emotions and your thoughts, right? Because when it has to do with the reason I say this, when it has to do with someone else, their anxiety or everything just tell me, like, how are you, you're allowed to take the time to process how you're feeling and what you're thinking. It's not on someone else's timeline is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's good to know. It's a good reminder. Yeah. All right. How do we feel about those? Do we like this or that? I finished my sentence better.
I like both. We can mix it up.
All right.
I like that. I like doing that too. I know I struggle with the this or that. And I always say both.
I did not do it because of that. I was just thinking, and I'm just like, I can't think of anything fun. So I'm like, let's find something else.
No, that's fun too. Yeah, no, that's fun.
Cool. All right. So final play. What's one thing that actually improves mental health quickly?
Sunshine. It does. Sunshine and warmer weather does. I guess that's two things.
But
An internal thing, though, one thing that improves mental health quickly would be, again, boundaries and limits. If you can set a boundary or you set limits for yourself, it's going to improve your mental health.
okay.
Ask.
So like I can agree with that one, but the getting there part, I feel like is gonna be long.
I think that the getting there with boundaries can be longer than the getting there with limits, right? So if you are exhausted and your mental health, you're feeling burnt out, and you just say, no, I'm only going to do 2 things today. Your brain's going to thank you because you're going to say, oh, good, I can only do 2 things. But that is a limit, too.
Yeah.
Boundaries can be harder, but if you can do that, and a boundary, like I said before, is like, it's not what you want the other person to do, it's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
hard because we think that we're trying to control what someone else is doing.
Yeah.
But it's more about what you are going to do. So if the boundary is, okay, the next time they don't respond to me or whatever, I'm just going to put my phone down and go and hang out with a friend, or
Yeah.
that's still a boundary, right?
Yeah.
The next time they put me down, I'm just going to walk away. My brother's dog's right there at the door. Yeah, he was looking in because he's been coming in that door all
Okay.
weekend, so I think he's trying to come in. But anyway, yeah, I don't. When it comes to mental health, other than sunshine and stuff, there's nothing simple,
No.
right?
Yeah.
It's not like it.
But I think it might, like, the whole limit thing is very true. Like, that one's pretty, like, quick in a way of, like,
Yeah.
just give yourself 2 things, follow those 2 things, and you're just gonna be at the end of the day, you'd be like, well, I told myself that I would just do these 2 things, and I did them.
Yeah, yeah, and I think with that comes control, right?
Yeah.
If I think another switch is if you figure what I can control right now, that's going to improve your mental health.
Yeah. And then also on the thing about the boundaries, like, I always, whenever somebody's talking about boundaries, I always think of it as such a big thing, because it's like you're setting your boundaries, like with motherhood or something.
Yeah.
But what you just said, it's just like, if they don't respond, I'm going to put my phone back. It's like the simplest thing.
Absolutely.
Can make a difference.
I think as soon as you switch your thinking from a boundary is about them to a boundary is about me, that helps with it. It's not about changing someone's behavior, separating from someone, telling someone what they should do, controlling somebody's actions, whatever. That might be the outcome, but it's about what am I going to do? If you do this, this is what I'm going to do. When you can switch that, it's a game changer.
Good. So vitamin D
Yep. From the sky.
from the sky.
If you're in perimenopause, vitamin D
Yeah.
orally.
Yeah.
But yeah, vitamin D, I mean, that is
I mean, yeah, 100%.
absolutely, like, the past few days when it's been nice,
Oh.
everyone's like, I almost waiting for people to, like, be skipping down the street. Like,
Well, you walk outside and everybody's outside.
yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah. My front door has, like, a retractable screen. And so I had it open yesterday, and it's just the screen across. And it was like there was a parade on my street.
Yeah.
People walking their dogs and
Crazy.
kids and everything. Yeah.
It was funny because my boyfriend was like, oh, it's so nice to see so many people outside. And I was just like, no, now they're in my way. Like, now there's dogs trying to get at my dog. And I'm just
Yes,
like,
there's that.
Anyway, but that's my negative thinking. No. Take what my boyfriend said. The whole walk, I was like, appreciate.
Yes. Yes. Hi, Harley. Yes. And I mean, now that unfortunately I don't have Cole anymore, my cat, but now I can have that screen open, because I think I mentioned before that he jumped right through it last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 2 years he just lay at it, and then last year, as he was getting older, he jumped through it, so right over my shoulder and through the screen.
Yeah.
All right,
That's it.
that's it?
That's what I got.
Okay. All right, that was another good one. Okay, some deep thinking, and you should be a therapist, because you open me up sometimes, like, my whole thing with, like, my insecurity and relationship stuff, I didn't tell anyone that. Now everybody's going to hear it. Anyway, I'm good. It's all good. It's a learning experience. And I had to, obviously it was something I had to work on myself for. Something that was deep in there and not ignited for a long time. So, all right. Thanks for joining us. And we will see you next week. Next week, I think we're going to be talking to Colleen, exit interview. She's finished her practicum now with us. So until then, take care of you. That's it for today's episode of The Mental Playbook with Christine Dalgety. Remember, the work doesn't end because the episode does. Thank you so much for listening and for being part of these conversations. If you're enjoying the podcast, please rate and follow us on Spotify. It helps us grow and reach more people who might need this too. And don't forget, take care of you.